Simpson. And Japan have gone absent without leave. This is Whitmore. Hall and Gale both available. It's still Whitmore. It is the Reggae Boys who take the lead.
Ball chat. Greetings, football lovers. Welcome to Ball Chat Podcast, the show where we review some of the week's major news in the world of football. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, good day, wherever you're watching us across the world. I am Benton along with the family. George, what are going on, family? Are you still?
I'm there. I'm here. Boy, yo, all roads lead to Thursday for me. I don't care about nothing else. When you can card me, laugh after me, I don't care.
That's not what we do here at Ball Chat. Ball Chat's a safe space for all football fans. Of course, Manchester
Except Arsenal fans.
Even Arsenal fans. So, of course,
yeah.
Manchester United has a big game on Thursday. I mean, I think Manchester United, and you call it, Manchester United and Spurs will be in the Europa League final. You call this what? From about December?
Yep.
I mean, no, right? So you call this thing from about December. So, I don't know if at the time you looked at the group or the rankings or the knockout round pathway, but you call it from long time.
And to be fair, the only reason why is because they were the only two, like, I don't want to say big clubs or nostalgic clubs, but this is the first year of Europa League that you don't have the Champions League third place teams. So if you are a big money side, you are a favorite right through. So it's an easy guess, to be honest. And plus, remember, Manchester United is 10 minutes away from you look and laugh at me right now and Leon and then wait to the finals. So it's not like it was an easy trek. There was some luck involved.
Yeah, man. Football family, rock and come in. As you enter the group, make sure to smash the like button. Tell a friend about the show as you join us. Smash the like button, family. Tell a friend about the show. Front and center, family, we have Jamaican Premier's Premier League match day 39, family. Whole heap of things. The scores are up. Games are currently playing on. Score update: Arnett Gardens and Haverview 0-0. Cavalier and Moline 0-0. Humble Lions versus Mount Pleasant 1-0 ahead. Portmore and Racing 0-0. Tivoli and Mobile United 1-1. Chapelton already scored 2 goals on Veer Phoenix United. And Waterhouse is leading Dumble Holden. A lot of implications with the Jamaican Premier League. Final match here, all games 33 minutes or so in. Junior, we'll get to the details Jamaican Premier League in a little bit in the show, but you keeping an eye on this thing. You have places that people are still following for, and of course, there are places that are still up for grabs in Jamaican Premier League. One relegation spot, playoff spots are still available, and of course, the elephant in the room, Cavaliers' alleged letter to the JFF saying that that Mount Pleasant allegedly used ineligible players.
So you want to get to it right now or what?
Usually we save Jamaica because the only reason why we don't want to do it now, because we know that there are some fans that follow Jamaican football and they tune in every week at the time when we normally about 45 minutes in the show. So if we do it now, that means these people go and say, yo, what go on, Ball Chat? Come, I run in 45 minutes on the show. Jamaican football gone already.
So we'll set the clock then, 40 minutes from now.
Yeah, 40 minutes from now. Jamaican. I make it 38 minutes from now.
38 minutes from now, yeah. I big up BM. BM says, Junior, you underestimated my team. We're 90 minutes away from the final. Man U versus Tottenham final should be fire.
Yeah, man. So, But I just wanted you to give a little snip, a little. I want to kind of tap into your thinking heading into the Yardballer segment for this Cavaliers letter to the JFF allegedly, and the final match day of the Jamaican Premier League. Because the potential that we've seen out there is.
Hold on. Do you want me to do it quickly or you want me to do it with speed?
As Portmore with speed. Portmore United now 2-0 ahead of Racing. And the implications are that if found guilty, Mount Pleasant, of the allegations, Mount Pleasant could be docked 15 points.
So see, you want me to use speed?
You're moving. You're not going with speed here.
I don't want to go with speed. Are you going to go with speed?
I think based on the evidence, you have to go with speed.
So we think speed is the right way to go then.
Speed, yes. Speed is the right way to go. Because speed's evidence, the evidence of speed was quite profound. We just have to go look and watch YouTube clips and go to transfermarket.com.
And it actually explains why. Because remember, wasn't it you that said why Mount Pleasant had do this for the last couple of weeks?
Well, I mean, so that has serious implications because, I mean...
Remember, you were the one that was saying why Mount Pleasant had do this and beat up people, right?
Should have called off the dogs. I mean, Mount Pleasant separated from the pack. I mean, they're 90 points. 15 or so points ahead of second place.
Oh, the same 15 points that they could be docked, right?
Yeah, the same 15 points. So who said Tapago School go on bench, aka Theodore Whitmore, Mount Pleasant head coach? Football family, welcome to Ball Chat Podcast. Yeah, go ahead, Junior.
So you already got you got a speedy response or a speedy look into my mind's eye for what is going on in Jamaican Premier League. We talk about that in a 40 minutes.
Goals are abound in the Jamaican Premier League. Incoming, we have to keep the clock. Yeah, we have to press the goal button. Tivoli with another goal. Mobile United now trailing Tivoli 2-1. Mobile United needs this victory to potentially secure up the second place and could be first, depending on what happened with Mount Pleasant.
Yep.
All right, let's get to our football roundup and touch some other major news in the world of football. We're going to keep an eye on the Jamaican Premier League final match day. Football family, as you rock and come in, smash the like button, smash the like button. Football family kicking off this week with Bundesliga, champions crown, Bayern Munich, 33rd title. But equally as important, Vincent Kompany, Junior, secured his first Bundesliga title as manager of this outfit. There was a lot of questions around when, leadership at Bayern Munich made this appointment. Even recently, Sean Dyche questioned the appointment and said why I couldn't get that work. So basically to imply, your thoughts on this accomplishment? Mixed season. They were eliminated from the FA Cup version of the German football association knockout competition, the DFB, in the third round, and of course they didn't go deep into the Champions League, a team that you would expect to be in the semi-final.
So first of all, it's a bigger finger to Sean Dyche, because the paint hasn't even dried on Sean Dyche's scathing comments against Vincent Kompany, and what Vincent Kompany went ahead and did, traveled abroad in a new country and took a team which is the perennial champions, right? Year-to-year champions. However, Bayer Leverkusen had a magical run last year, and this year, even though the run has fallen off a little bit, I wouldn't say Leverkusen has fallen off the wagon. Bayern Munich came back and took the title from them. So I think that Kompany can say that he came to the Bundesliga and set Bayern Munich straight. I think that could be one of his great lines on his CV. And, you know, with Harry Kane, because I know Harry Kane going to be the next conversation. Let me just go here now. This is the most Harry Kane-like championship win. You're not playing in the last game, this game. You up 3-2, are ready for go celebrate, and the team busting it and draw the game. Like, oh crap, I ain't gonna win. And then you come and win based on the next. So it's like a Comedy Central kind of a way of Harry Kane finally taking the monkey off his back and lifting a title. So congrats to them, well deserved. Now, I wouldn't feel sorry for them because they are spending all the money in Germany and they are the high coveted team in Germany. Leverkusen forward last year, knocked them off the perch for a season. However, they overcame a lot this year to win this championship. Look at their defense. Kieran Dyer is the reason why Kompany is at Bayern Munich. And Kompany came and still have to use Dyer because of injuries. So they did well.
Yeah, I mean, just the particulars, as you said, it's a Hurricane way to win a title. 3-3 against RB Leipzig yesterday, and you know, they thought they were in goal at the death to kind of delayed or put the champion back on ice for Bayern and Harry Kane. But today's draw with Leverkusen, Leverkusen dropping points means that Bayern Munich are official champion. I think the biggest thing Harry Kane aside, credit to him. He's pursued this 31 years old. You don't know, he's a youth who's a goal scorer, and have to give him credit. He continued to stick to the task at hand of scoring goals. And hopefully, over the years, heartbreak in close title races, not many, it's Tottenham. He played for Tottenham. But to win his first senior trophy, big up yourself. The money I'll go treasure, he definitely will treasure that one. As for Vincent Kompany, I think the biggest question was, can Vincent Kompany, a manager, young manager, go head into a locker room of this caliber and demand and command the respect of, people who would consider Vincent Kompany their peers, players who played with Vincent Kompany, played against him, so it was the biggest thing for Vincent going into that locker room was to command the respect of this group and then subsequently go forth and win the Bundesliga. So I have to give him credit.
Yeah, and just to add to what you just said, I think the real test will be next season.
Yes.
For the young manager and dealing with personalities, because Bayern Munich had a focus this year. Get rid of Leverkusen, right? Now that they have done it, now the real work starts. Now you're at the top of the mountain. How do you maintain this? This is something that the great Bayern Munich coaches have figured out, and this is something that great coaches have went to Bayern Munich and couldn't figure out. How to stay on top of the perch and still maintain some form of reliability or relativity, right? So that's this test. Leverkusen, on the other hand, questions have to be asked. And since their season pretty much wrapped up now, Xabi Alonso, is Perez calling Xabi Alonso so that Carlo can go Brazil? We have to keep an eye on that for the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, have to. And I expect that to occur this summer. It's enough. It's no or never, in my opinion. At the end of the day, regarding Xabi Alonso and this Bayern Munich situation, regardless of what Xabi has done, and as great as Xavi has done with Leverkusen, you're still not the big dog in this league. You still have to run up for and compete for talent against Bayern Munich. In fact, not just Bayern Munich. You have to compete against talent for some of the other little minnows around you, Dartmouth and all them little idiot clubs. You go to Real Madrid where you don't have to worry about that. It's big side. Real Madrid is a prime location, a prime destination for most ballers who as young aspiring ballers. So you don't have to worry about recruitment.
Let me ask you a question then. Let me
Yeah.
ask you a question then to piggyback on that. Because if we're going to ask questions about Kompany going to a big club and having to deal with personalities, is the same questions going to be asked of Xavi going to Real Madrid, or has the Leverkusen experience kind of given him that launch pad to now go and deal with the Mbappes? He might forget to deal with that front three.
No, I think it's the same question. It's the same question. Anytime a young manager stepped into this big chair, the big seat, these big clubs. Because you mentioned, to circle back to the comment about Vincent, and next year is when the real difficulties begin. Yes, I think this year was very difficult. So I don't necessarily know if next year the real difficulties begin. But at the end of the day, Vincent Kompany and Bayern Munich expectation has to align. And the objectives for Bayern Munich is Champions League. So this year, okay, they didn't accomplish that, because the young coach had tried essentially focus on Bundesliga. But as he go forth in this Bayern Munich contract, next year we expect Bayern Munich, and the brass at Bayern Munich would expect Vincent Kompany and his team to make a deep run and push into either semi-finals or even finals, depending, of course, the moves they make. And so that's the culture of Bayern Munich. And that's the same sort of aspiration Xavi Alonso, if he does end up at Real Madrid, will have to fulfill. Because it's one thing to win those domestic leagues for these clubs. Bayern Munich, this is a 33rd title for them. So after them league this.
Yeah.
The big year's trophies for them is ultimately what coaches are measured by in this business at these big clubs. So, but congrats to Harry Kane, congrats to Vincent Kompany. Yo, tell us send a basket over to Sean Dyche and tell him, say, yo, here you go, Sean.
A basket of spoiled milk.
Bundesliga action. Football family keeping an eye on the Jamaican Premier League as halftime approach. Some games are at halftime. Humble Lions and Mount Pleasant. Humble Lions leading. Now, Mount Pleasant leading Humble Lions 2-0. Portmore 2-0 for Racing. And Tivoli still leaving Mobile United. Those are important games. Cavalier and Malines 1-1. Arnett Garden is losing to Harborview 1-0. Mount Pleasant will not let the soap drop on those 15 points.
Nope, not at all. They will give it. They're making sure they have enough for the 15 points.
Yes, provide that. And football family, as you rock and come in, smash the like button. Big up to the family. Big up to BM. BM have a few comments about Tapa. We'll get to Jamaican football news here in a few minutes. But now, segue into the English Premier League family. And I will score down today with 3-1 because I have to figure out myself. 3-1 victory for Chelsea over Liverpool. Some would say Liverpool's on vacation, but this is a huge victory for Enzo Maresca and Chelsea family.
And that's what I spoke about that a couple of weeks ago for the running up to this week's show. A couple of weeks ago, we were joking and laughing, saying Chelsea gone, Chelsea have a gauntlet, Nottingham Forest have the easier road, blah, 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 blah. But something clicked in this Chelsea team that they just started playing better. And I'm going to say it again. I said it, I think last week or the week before. This is fool's gold. We have seen this before. We saw this last year under Pochettino. They started to get things right towards the end of the season. Players magically started to be more focused. Yes, Liverpool never really took the game that serious. They're not really business. But we still have to give Chelsea credit because Chelsea is a side all year that even if Liverpool are sleepwalk, they were dash for the game. And Chelsea came out today and with all indication that they are trying to win the game. And they were supremely focused. And the game ended the way it should. So, again, I think the Chelsea players are frauds. But I'm not taking anything away from what they did.
I will push you a little bit on that, family. Fraud. Elaborate on that. I mean, Chelsea, victories in the last 3 games. Last 3 Premier League games, to be specific. And you need those victories now more than ever as you try to secure a top 5 spot for Champions League next year. So, talk to me about this fraud thing. The money man win ball games.
They're winning ball games at the most opportune times. Why them couldn't win games like this in the middle of the season?
So when would you rather Chelsea win it to not call them fraud? Because they did start the season at a rocket pace, right? Weren't they leading close to the top there for a minute?
Yep, they were.
And then
that's
bust
true.
like a BG kite or whatever.
Right. So I think the motivation is somebody sat them down and said, look, all of we on long contracts, right? But there's probably some clause in the contract. So if you're not playing in Europe, 30% off your salary, 40% off your salary. Everybody's, whoa, wait a minute.
Just conspiracies, serious conclusion. No inside information into the
That's at Manchester United. And I'm sure all these top clubs have those clauses in the contract. Why am I going to pay you like you're a European baller when you're not playing European football? It would be a clause in the contract.
But you're playing in Conference League.
I'm sure that they don't consider that as Europe. And even if they do, Chelsea's still trying to maximize. So they're trying to get the Champions League. They have to get the Champions League for them owner to say, all right, I'm getting return on my investment. The big investment that they did at the start of the season. So that's my conspiracy theory. That I know what the players are not frauds. Let me tell them about players are human beings. They are motivated now. And why couldn't they be motivated through the middle of the season? Put that on Enzo Maresca's feet.
Yeah, well,
because Ty Gill. Tyrone said this to me years ago. Tyrone said, what made Fergie great, in his opinion, and he's not a Man U fan, but he respects Manchester United. Tyrone said, what makes Fergie great is that, I will never forget it, but when Premier League get boring, that's when Man United used to win them games. When it get boring, when nobody care about the games, a dark summer, out the door cold, nobody know what. Man U said, no, we'll win these games. Pep, we're winning these games. Klopp, we're winning these games. Why Maresca can't motivate them to play in the middle of the season like how they are playing now? So if Chelsea wasn't doing it middle of the season, I know why you're not more Maresca is a good coach. Because right now, your influence to me is nil. The players, them are motivated now because they've seen the writing on the wall at the end of the season, and we want to play European football next year. Come back and fix it. That's all I'm saying.
So then I'll push you again. Does Maresca, and by the way, family, this is Ball Chat Football Podcast, weekly show. Smash the like button as you enter. My name is Benton, along with the family, George. George, it's year 1 for Maresca. No wiggle room there. I mean, what was Klopp or Pep's year 1 like in the Premier League? I recall Pep not winning many games in the dark winter months. And in fact, he was confronted on whether he's coaching defense or not in the Premier League.
So did Klopp or Pep spend the money that Maresca spent at the start of the season?
I think maybe not Klopp, but I would probably say Pep may have came close. I distinctly remember Claudio Bravo transferred, Nolito transferred, and those players were bugs. And then Pep decided to say, we're going to get one new goalkeeper, our goalkeepers. So they did spend a hefty amount.
But Chelsea basically bought a team in the summer.
Yes,
So Morris
they did.
Prati, so your expectations are high. No, is it fair expectation? No, it's not a fair expectation. However, proof is in the pudding. Can you motivate the players to play? And that's the question. Jury's out. I would say the jury is out, but if I was on that jury, but voting guilty.
You're convicted. No, granted, management may have told Enzo Maresca that, and there's been already speculation and word in the English media about what can he do to save his job. So even if he wins the Conference League, it may not be enough based on some reports. Champions League seems to be the standard. So so the fact that they're 3 games winning streak, they have 3 games remaining. So this is a good thing. Now, Bala and Bugs family, I just want to give a special Bala award to Wataru Endo. I thought Endo looked great in that Liverpool midfield. And yes, Ryan Gravenberch has been, the dominant force in that Liverpool's midfield all year. And yes, there will be questions or decisions to be made around Endo. But Endo can play ball and should be playing ball. And he was very good in that midfield today. And whereas the rest of Liverpool was above side, especially Mohamed Salah. I didn't think Darwin Núñez helped himself, but of course he's not gonna help himself nowhere. So,
We already know how where he sits in slots, man. We already know where he's slotted.
And and for all the disrespect that Trent Arnold get, we're going to move away from this game quickly in a minute. I want to say that Conor Bradley cannot cross a ball nowhere near Trent Arnold. Because the man can't even cross a ball to save him life.
Yeah, but Conor Bradley is not expected to replace Trent Arnold.
I mean, but how are you a right back and you can't cross a ball, brother? That's a simple requirement of the job. Be able to put in a crossing.
True.
Now, Champions League race in the English Premier League. Looking at other results. Man City, 3 victories in their last 3 games. So, Junior, as we take a look at the table, Man City defeated Wolves on Friday. Nottingham Forest has a game tomorrow against Crystal Palace. Nottingham Forest dropped points on Thursday. Nottingham Forest 1 win, 1 draw, and 1 defeat in their last 3 games, sitting in 6th position. Newcastle, no, that was Newcastle start. Newcastle 1 win, 1 defeat, 1 draw in their last 3 games. Forest 1 win and 2 defeats in their last 3 games, sitting in 6th. Forest drew with Brighton. Aston Villa 2 victories and 1 defeat in their last 3 games. As we look at the Premier League table, Man City in 3rd, 64 points. Newcastle 4th, 63 points. Chelsea 5th, 63 points. Newcastle and Chelsea both tied on goal difference and points. Goal scored is what gives Newcastle a 4th spot. Forest 34 points in the 6th position. And based on what happens in the Champions League, Conference League, and Europa League, will have a significant implication on the number of English teams that will make it into these European competitions.
Not really. I think the top 5 makes it to Champions League regardless.
So if Arsenal does win the Champions League and they automatically qualify, I think one of the permutations is that I need to pull it up from BBC.
But then a Man U Tottenham Europa final is going to knock out whichever team is going to automatically jump to that 5th spot for the Arsenal. So there is some stipulation there, I think. It's like 7. That would mean that there's 7 English teams in the Champions League, if it happens that way.
Yeah, no, but talk to me about the table as I try to pull up the potential permutations.
Last week we said that Nottingham Forest going into the Chelsea game is going to have 70 points. Right?
Yes.
Right now, right now they're looking at 69 points maximum going into the Chelsea game. So all roads right now, all eyes are leading to that. To me, it's just Chelsea versus Nottingham Forest end of the season. There might be another twist. Aston Villa might sneak in because Aston Villa hasn't gone anywhere. If Nottingham Forest is to lose to Crystal Palace tomorrow, then that opens the door for Aston Villa to come knocking on Chelsea, right? But right now, as things set, that Chelsea Nottingham Forest game looms large.
Chelsea Nottingham Forest, Chelsea Newcastle.
Chelsea Nottingham Forest at the end of the season.
Oh yes, so Chelsea
Last game of the season.
We look at the schedule here in a second. I thought Chelsea also plays Newcastle.
Chelsea plays Newcastle. Yes, Chelsea play Newcastle next week, Sunday at 7 o'clock, bright and early in the morning. So they play Newcastle and then they play Nottingham Forest to end the season. That's your last two games, right?
Yeah.
Riding high. That's the last two games.
Yeah.
Now, if Chelsea beats Nottingham Forest next week, then Chelsea just locked in Champions League. It's over. Nothing matters the last day of the season.
So according to the BBC here, it says how many teams could qualify for the Champions League. The number could rise to 6 should Arsenal win the Champions League and finish outside the top 5, an unlikely prospect, or even if that happens and Man United or Tottenham win the Europa League. So that's where that extra 6 spot will come from.
Right. So there's no 7. There's no Arsenal already second and win Champions League. That means 6 bump up now.
Yeah. Your Man United or Tottenham will win the Europa League.
Right. You're going to have an English team win the Europa League.
So technically you would have 6 English teams in the Champions League then.
Yes.
Yeah.
So Chelsea, Newcastle next week is a big. Chelsea have 2 huge games left. And beating Liverpool today just made Chelsea feel a little bit better. Because remember, after Chelsea, Newcastle plays Arsenal.
Yes.
I finished out the season against Everton. So, and this is an Arsenal now. Forget about Champions League. This is an Arsenal that might not even finish second in the Premier League. Because if Arsenal lose the next game and Man City win, Man City will be tied with them for points.
Yeah, there's something, we get to Arsenal here in a second. something not right. Chelsea's remaining games. Newcastle versus Chelsea, May 11, Friday, May 16, Chelsea Man U, Sunday, May 25th, Forest, Chelsea. I'm very concerned about Newcastle, not for Chelsea. I'm very concerned about the form that Newcastle is currently in. Newcastle, as I said, 1 win, 1 defeat, and 1 draw in their last 3 Premier League games. Newcastle is in a spot of order. I'm also very concerned about Nottingham Forest. 1 win and 2 defeats. They are in a spot of order. So Chelsea, I think, will finish in the Champions League spot, Junior.
They will have to earn it.
Yeah, you're going to have to earn it. Yeah, yes.
The next 2 games is against Champions League contenders as well. 2 teams that want to play Champions League.
The man's a Champions League contender. I mean, contender by the table does not include Man United. Contender by some competition over there.
Sorry. The last 2 games. The last 2 games.
Well, no, two of the 3 games. Because the Man United game is slide in between.
Oh, yeah, after next. Yeah. So, all right, let's put it this way. If they beat Newcastle next week, they can rest easy going in the Man U game.
They say they have 4 finals. As you mentioned, Newcastle schedule, Chelsea next week, May 18, Arsenal, and they round out the season with Everton. What is going on with Newcastle? 1 win, 1 defeat, 1 draw. What, is it burnout at the end? They play pretty much the same players.
And some of the players are, look, you have good players, but players are good when there's no pressure. Now that there's pressure, now that there's meaning behind these games, now we're seeing who really want it from who don't want it. And the other teams, they are humans as well. They want to be spoilers. So you're giving them motivation now to be spoilers. It's going to make it harder for you. So it's easy to point fingers. It's easy to say anyhow is that is coming back from
no, point a finger at the sick man still.
No, but it's easy. You can point to that and say this is something that affected their season. It is easy to say, like you said, they don't have a bench. They don't have depth in the squad. It could be easy to say fatigue is kicking in, right? But at the end of the day, this is why teams play sports, and you play to get a result. You don't just walk up and get the result dropping in your lap. So we're gonna see how it shake out. These teams going to have to earn it, and I like that.
Yeah, if you have ballers and bugs, family, send them on. Ballers, impressive players, bugs, and impressive players. We know, so we change the format. You know, people can still send on their ballers and bugs. And I want to highlight a bug, Joe Willock. Joe Willock of Newcastle dove today to try to get a penalty. First awarded a penalty, then reviewed, and the penalty was overturned. And I want to ask you this question, Junior. Some Newcastle fans are some people who advocated for this penalty, claims that even though the defender did not touch Joe Willock, he anticipated the swinging of the foot by the defender, and in an attempt to avoid the defender's foot, he dove, and so it should have been a penalty. You ever hear this stupidness before? Like, a man allegedly might try to protect himself, so he might try just launch over the foot. What kind of foolishness?
We see yellow cards given for that, right?
Yeah, him need to get yellow card for simulation, and he did receive one.
No, not for the dive. I'm talking about for the foul.
Okay.
I've seen phantom fouls, and they get yellow card.
That's the name. Yeah, phantom fouls.
Right? And it's something in baseball. Baseball has the phantom plays, and it's something that they accept in baseball because that avoid injuries. Like when if you know baseball, when the defense, like they're doing a double play or something, or the guy on the base trying to get the ball, by the letter of the law, when the ball hits the glove, your foot should be on the pad, right? Well, most of the players in baseball, in Major League Baseball, the players' feet are not on the pad. They swipe their foot over the pad and get them foot out the way. Why? Because they don't want to break their ankles.
Yeah.
Right? Because somebody's sliding in, blah, blah, blah. The same thing for the phantom cards in football. In when the ball carrier gets out of the way of the harsh tackle, even though there's no contact made, the ref most times are still giving a yellow card. I'm judging it by intent, right? So now you ask the question, if that happens in the penalty box, why is it not given? Why are we now scrutinizing just because it's in the penalty? You look, there's the same broke foot tackling. I'm not in Joe Willock's case, but that's the argument people are making. You see the same broke foot tackle in the middle of the field happen in the penalty box. But if there's no contact, no foul. VAR check, there's no foul, no contact, we keep it moving, right? So it's a slippery slope. I would just tell Newcastle fans, shut the hell up, beat Chelsea next week, and everything is all good.
Yeah, foolishness. Phantom calls are foolishness. Look, if I'm a defender and still playing professionally, I would just fake a tackle. Kick him in the cloth and make him dive over and then take the ball. Because it's just... Continuing our EPL round of family, we want get through this quickly because the table again. So you said Forest is in a spot about. I think a few weeks ago you said Forest gone to the dog. aka out of this Champions League situation.
Yeah.
Is there any way them can resurrect this? They have 4 games remaining: Crystal Palace, Leicester City, West Ham, and of course them have Chelsea. I mean, these are winnable games outside of the Chelsea game. Now, Crystal Palace might be a bit tight.
Right now, they just need to get to the Chelsea game with a chance. And then you
And then
put all the
see what happens.
see what happens. Right? You can't forecast anything for them because they are so unpredictable. It's a real Jekyll and Hyde team. And it's so unfortunate for them that they know the ramifications of this game tomorrow. It would have been nice if they could have played the game first and then watch the table. Now you're going into this game knowing it's basically a must-win game.
Yeah.
You cannot win this.
Last team in the EPL that we're going to look at, Aston Villa. And more specifically, I want to ask you, after we look at the schedule, Bournemouth, Aston Villa next Saturday, Aston Villa Spurs, and the 18th, Aston Villa rounds up against Man United. Ali Watkins. What really are going with Ali Watkins and Unai Emery and Aston Villa? I mean, we know this is a Jamaican show and people want to talk about Leon Bailey, but we're not talking about Bala who not play right now. You know.
We're not talking about benchmark.
Ali Watkins. Yesterday he was subbed out for Daniel Milan. And this brother Milan is a bug. I don't understand the mindset behind Unai Emery subbing Ali Watkins, a goal scorer, when you need goals. He's pound for pound your best conversion goal scorer in his team.
I think there's something more to what the Colombian name we got of Saudi Arabia? Duran. John Duran. I think there's something more to that. I think there's, I remember John Duran and Ali Watkins had a little riff.
Yeah, well, Ali Watkins used to say a fee in players.
Right, and they were fighting over. I think
but a fee in players. I mean, whoever come forward need to recognize that Ali Watkins is the head of the spear. And now, granted, Marcus Rashford done forward and might say otherwise,
but that's it. I think that there's more to this story. Unai Emery is not a Jose Mourinho, so he's not going to bring you behind the curtain and make you see things. But in his actions, you can tell there's something going on, right? And he moved on while John Duran decided to move on. However you want to look at it, John Duran more money was put in front of him face, and Aston Villa didn't fight to keep a young, promising striker, which was a head scratcher to everybody. So they allowed him to leave without a fight. Something happened there. Now Ali Watkins is being put out to sea. Something happened there. And until somebody leak it, all we can do is insinuate things. But, come on, man. Something is going on there.
You think Ali Watkins is gone this summer?
I think he's going to be given the opportunity to choose to leave if he wants to. If he wants to stay, though, we're good enough. But if you feel like you're the greener pastures and the greener pastures want you that bad, then we can facilitate your going. I think that is
fair enough. Arsenal getting the money ready. Get your money ready, Arsenal.
No, well, okay.
Premier League table, as we said, heading into this game tomorrow, Forest in the 6th position. So that's it. Anything else you want to say about the Premier League family before we leave from this? But most notably, Arsenal need to keep an eye on this second place thing we're going right there. So.
Well, yeah, because they can get into some real woy if they don't win out. They can really get in some.
Things can get a little bit sticky over this.
Nottingham Forest can end with 70 points, 69 points going into the last game. They should have 69 points going into the last game of the season. Arsenal currently have how much?
67 points.
67 points. And if they don't win another game, Nottingham Forest can leapfrog them.
Arsenal plays Liverpool next week. Liverpool I give away points. So don't worry, Arsenal fans. Liverpool turn charity.
But we don't know what mindset Arsenal will be in next week.
Champions League preview, family. Before we get to the Jamaican Premier League and Jamaican football news. Second leg Champions League coming up this week. Tuesday, May 6th. Inter versus Barca, 3-3. Big ball game. The injury list, a couple doubtful players on the injury record on Champions League website. Pavard, Lautaro Martinez are doubtful for Inter, and for Barca, Alejandro Balde still doubtful for Barca. Junior, talk to me. 3-3, somebody have, and Jules Conde also labeled as doubtful for Barca. Big things, big game. Both teams coming off victories this weekend in the domestic league. Inter needed that 1-0 victory. Barca defeated Valladolid.
And Barca boy, they've gone through it. I mean, they're not taking their foot off the gas. Now them young and them dumb, and that's a compliment. I'm not saying it disrespectfully. So I can see that Hansi Flick won't go with the rest philosophy, but eventually going to catch up to you.
It's a huge week for Barca, because Barca plays Inter, and then they have El Clasico on the weekend. And in La Liga, it's the Clasico can swing the league one way or the other.
No, but La Liga technically done though, because I think Barca by 10, 12 points?
No, I think the gap has been closed. La Liga standing, Barca leads by 4 points.
Rotted.
Barca leads Real Madrid by 4 points heading into the Clasico.
Rotted. How much game left?
4 games left.
Barca,
4 games remaining
Barca
in the
have
league.
3 games left. Yeah, 4 games, but I'm not counting the Madrid game. So they play Espanyol, they play Villarreal, and they play Athletic.
Yeah, Barca has, but I mean, I think for Barca, this Inter game can heavily influence this Clasico game. And La Liga didn't do Barca any favors here by scheduling this Clasico game on the back of this and Clasico. The man now move Clasico.
Yeah.
Espanyol is a local derby. Of course, these two teams hate each other. But Barca should beat them. Villarreal and Atleti. I don't know, Junior. I don't know.
Rough waters ahead.
Rough waters ahead for Hansi
I
Flick.
never knew it was that close. So this is a rotten week. So for Champions League, they're going to have to find some way to compartmentalize their focus. Lock in for Inter. Whatever happened, let that be water under the bridge, and then lock in for Real Madrid, which basically Real Madrid will be playing. Basically, Carlo is playing for his last year, basically, in essence. So I'm sure he wants to go to that trophy. So he's going to throw everything but the kitchen sink.
But Carlo now play ball.
I know Carlo not play ball, but if he's a motivational guru, he's going to pull out all his best tricks this week. So Inter, why it's a tough game, Benton. It's a tough game. And Inter was up 2-0, gave up the 2-goal lead. The game ended 3-3. If Inter can score 3 goals in Barca, what will they do at home? Yo, it rough for Barcelona. It rough.
I mean, Barcelona is heading to the San Siro against Inter Milan. I really tell Barca fans nothing still, but we have to see how the one you go. We have to see how the one you go. Lamine Yamal. I'm just looking forward to see Lamine Yamal plays. Whatever happens in the game on Tuesday, we're going to see what happens, hopefully. But these were big ballers are essentially take the mantle. And Lamine Yamal was outstanding last week. I expect, Simeone Inzaghi and Inter to zero in more on him this week. And let's see how he goes about it. The doubtfulness of Jules Koundé and Robert Lewandowski. They need somebody up top for Barca who can clinically score goals, because this brother Ferran Torres is a dopey bot. The other Champions League game, family, Arsenal versus PSG. PSG won in their domestic league, of course, French league. No man really, pay that attention. Arsenal, of course, lose or suffered a defeat to Bournemouth in the Premier League, and Arsenal manager played a lot of his starters that one would expect he would be rolling out in this week's Champions League second leg, whereas PSG bench a lot of players. Junior, right or wrong regarding the call to play a Thomas Partey, play your Declan Rice and a company of the world and important players of the world against Bournemouth?
Look, you win, we're going to say you did the right thing. You lose, we're going to say you did the right thing. So I don't have an opinion in that aspect. Where my opinion lies, though, is in what the hell did Arteta say after the Bournemouth game? You saw what he said?
No, what did he say? Fill me.
Let me quote it for you. We've created rage ahead of PSG after Bournemouth loss.
We created what?
Rage. R-A-G-E.
And correction here, family. Strasbourg did defeat PSG. So I was wrong on that one. Strasbourg did defeat PSG.
That don't matter. You don't hear Luis Enrique saying, we've created rage ahead of the Arsenal. We now are more focused. We're now more angry going into this game. Arteta really put his lips together and said, we've created rage ahead of the PSG.
All right, translate that to real world language, for the layman's language for us, because that is Arteta speak, and we know say you speak Arteta.
No. Let me tell you something. One of my favorite quotes is this: I never try to rationalize the irrational. You make an irrational statement, there's no translation from me. It's just an irrational statement. We'll leave it alone. Like when you have a calculator and you have a simple calculator, you put 100 minus 5,000 and you get E. You actually calculate E, error. Me don't know. I don't know what the hell I'm saying. I don't know if he's saying the rage is the fans coming in. I don't know if it's a call to action for a return of hooliganism to the stands. I don't know. I don't know if it must the fans need to boo us. What the hell is the rage? You are the one that put the team out there, put a strong team out there when you get to the penny pop right before a Champions League semi-final away at Paris after you gave up a goal to PSG in the first 10 minutes. I could have scored a damn goal in 80. If you don't have any rage after last week's game, how Bournemouth going to give you rage? Come on, man. Better move on.
And if Mikel Arteta somehow over an Arsenal overcome this deficit and utilize that rage that Arteta spoke about and advance to the Champions League final, Junior will apologize next Sunday.
Hell no. I'm going to say player X. Louis Kelly saved Arteta's job this week. That's what I'm going to say.
Ousmane Dembele is labeled as doubtful for this game. Of course, Ousmane Dembele must play. He has to rub whatever mud or whatever dirt or whatever injuries injury he might be carrying. Gabriel also labeled as doubt for Arsenal. Calafuri, yeah, them on the Jorginho now play. Kai Havertz, yeah, doubtful. Those are the players. But most importantly, Mikel Arteta will get the return of Thomas Partey.
Yeah, to play more defensively while
Because
down
Gabriel
1-0.
out for the season.
To play it more defensively while down 1-0. BM says, I can't see Real Madrid winning La Liga. They have nothing else to play for. He also said, Junior, careful of blood pressure. Listen to me, Arsenal can't set up my blood pressure. And for the last 4 years, I've been picking Arsenal religiously. Religiously. You talk about blood pressure, better. I was like, the free Israelites walking in the wilderness. I don't want to worship the idol, but so leave the idol worship alone. I need that to listen. That is how I feel. I feel like one of the same Israelite them. I look and say, yo, the big Arsenal. And I keep picking Arsenal. Never again, it's over. Done.
Arsenal versus PSG on Wednesday, second leg. PSG leads the tie 1-0, and Barca versus Inter 3-3 is a second leg on Tuesday. 3-3 is the current aggregate score, family. All right, now to update the family on Jamaican Premier League, as we have to lock off at 6:05. Hard stop. We have to take ourselves 6:05 today. So we scores. Yo, Chapelton 3-1 over Vere Phoenix United. Where's the Chapelton will remain in the Premier League next year?
Well, but glad what Vere score. That's good.
Okay, and
Why Chapelton will remain? Oh, because Mullines losing.
Mullines is not losing. Mullines and Cavalier currently tied 2-2. Mullines very competitive here. Arnett guards have come from behind. I can't use the words come from behind with junglists. Arnett Gardens have taken the lead against Harborview 2-1. Mount Pleasant still lead Humble Lions 2-0. Portmore 2-0 over Racing. Tivoli still leads Mobile United, and Waterhouse leads Dumble Holding 2-0. I think Dumble Holding, man, them I say, yo, we don't have nothing to play for now. We're good.
Yeah, they're good.
Just make sure to the pot, some flour roll on the pot off. I give them some curry chicken or curry goat, and we could go and enjoy ourselves and some red stripe.
Oh, you know what? I thought it was the bottom three get relegated. Bottom
two. Bottom.
All right. So Humble Lion, go on a bush here.
Yeah, Humble Lions is looking shaky, family. Looking shaky.
No, it's over. Right now, as currently configured, Mount Pleasant is 18 points ahead.
Yo, Humble Lions didn't even have a prayer. Junior, talk to me about this allegations and now in some speediness, because we have 6 minutes left in the show. The allegations are quite, profound and detailed. I read the letter. I don't like some of the sources they cite, but as in Cavaliers Football Club, but they're quite detailed and they have evidence to support their allegations. And so it's surrounding, three players, Haitian players that Mount Pleasant transferred, that secure registration and ID from the JFF and the Jamaican Premier League after transferring to Mount Pleasant Football Club. Subsequently, they played for their own club in Haiti after being transferred, allegedly played, because I could have 2-man names or 3-man names. So, in the CONCACAF Champions Cup. So, Junior, how could Mount Pleasant, now most interestingly, Mount Pleasant haven't said anything about these allegations. What is your scenario? What do you think going on, sir? Because clearly a man can transfer a player and then the player then turn around and play for the side where we come from. Unless there's some agreed loan.
Unless he's on loan.
So the player then play for the side where him come from and then come back, come play for me again. Play for me now, start the transfer outside the window.
It is a typical poor organization by a Jamaican football organization. And Cavalier seem to capitalize, is trying to capitalize on it. It's just that simple. So all the I's are not dotted, all the T's are not crossed, which we should come to expect from organizations that don't have all the ducks in a row. And a team is crying foul. Right? And look, there's nothing wrong trying to gain a competitive advantage by highlighting that somebody make a misstep. There's nothing wrong with that. Snitches get stitches. And
no snitches.
Here's
yeah. So you said somebody tell Cavalier to look into it.
Really? What? We think Cavalier. We think Cavalier. What is Rudolph Speed's position at JFF Benton? The money man, right?
Yeah.
He was a finance guy. If there's anybody in this world that will know how to meticulously go through some information, it's a finance guy. You going to tell me that...
No, Chung is the finance guy. Rudolph Speed.
Talking about the guy. What Speed? I think
Speed is the director of competition committee.
Oh, Lord, that even make it worse.
No, he's director of selections or something. I don't know.
But he have all the information, all the bylaws.
Yeah,
everything is at his fingertips.
The question I have though is like, and you're right, somebody must have snitched. Because clearly them not have no algorithm of every players tracking players for other teams and say, some AI program and say, yo, this person logged 15 minutes for this team and them will log 30 minutes over there. So somebody must have alerted them of this potential violation. So yeah. Unless Rudolph Speeder watched Mount Pleasant closely.
But wouldn't he have that access, or wouldn't he know somebody that is supposed to be watching
yes,
teams?
He would have that access being part of the JFF.
So I mean, come on, man. Nothing wrong with that. It is what it is. You, the Premier League allowed this to happen. Why are we shocked? What? And then the funny part is, the man them so brazen. If I was Cavalier, and look, there's no evidence that Speed is behind this. There's none of that. We're just joking right now. We're just poking fun right now, right? If I am Rudolph Speed, and it's a serious poke, I'm poking fun. Quint. If I am Rudolph Speed, yo, how about you? You remember when Mount Pleasant did slap you up and beat you up? You want to get back at them? All the information there. Yo, are the guns? You remember said Whitmore and Westman, and yo, Mount Pleasant over there, so and you would not deal with them. Yo, hold that information here. No. Rudolph Speed said no. Even though it's obvious everybody going to point fingers at me. Cavalier is making you know, say we highlighting this from Mount Pleasant. That is drawing the line in the sand, and that is Theodore Whitmore. Me don't like you. I don't like you. That is what that is, Benton.
I don't think so. It's competition. I don't think it's like or dislike. Cavalier just uncovered like goal. I mean, they uncovered goal allegedly. I have to insert allegedly here. If Mount Pleasant is convicted, because we've never heard, at least I can't recall any these sort of. There are some clubs that them get shrouded in bangarang and conspiracies every year. You have to say, yo, some of the things when I go on with fishy. This is unlike Mount Pleasant. They do make transfers, and how hard it is to transfer your players and make them know say you're not supposed to play I think what happens is like the man them from here to just go back to our country and say, yo, come kick some ball for we now. I'm going to say, all right, we can kick 2 balls. And I think that probably what led to that. So Mount Pleasant, this probably caught Mount Pleasant off guard too.
Yeah. But then normally in real world, because Jamaica is not a real place, normally in real life situations, the news report would say, an anonymous source have presented damaging information to the JFF about Mount Pleasant failing ineligible players. They reported this based on anonymity or whatever. I can't pronounce the damn word. But being anonymous, they want to do this and blah, blah, blah. No. Not Jamaica. Jamaica say, no. No, me, Rudolph Chung, that run Cavalier, I go tell you, say.
Call me a bad man. We don't know unidentified sources around here.
And me play against Messi. I want me to go play against Messi. You go put up interview at this GFF.
Junior family, it's 6:05, 6:07 to be exact. So you don't know, so we know, so you have to take with yourself. BM says, careful your blood. He says, Speed is the chairman of technical committee. Dennis Strong is a gen sec. We have to watch this one carefully, but you know, I think again, based on the evidence that was provided,
yeah,
it almost seems like open and shut one now, and so we can match seeing with 15 points potential deduction for Mount Pleasant if found guilty. Mount Pleasant will end the season 93 points. And so, you know, Junior, you are the mathsman, so at 78, that would leave them.
So Mr. Badman, all him do now is just make Tapper know that he's coming.
Yeah. And it's still, you know, Mount Pleasant would still remain in the first position, which give them a bye give them a straight run to the semi-final.
Right.
You know, so Arnett is now leading 3-1, and in the second position, Mobile United not cutting it. Even
though JFF, not to cut you, but JFF could come back and say, you know what? You are a habitual this, and this is too bad of a thing. We're going to relegate you. And we're going to bring up back Veer Phoenix.
I forgot you want them so... You want the league get locked down? I just can't make it. Hey, yo. So I am looking for scenarios where Mount Pleasant finish second, Junior. And so if Mobile United does win and go 78 points, there's no scenario possible. And if Mobile United does come back and win this ball game, and go, they would end on 78 points. But look at the goal difference. Oh my word.
And right now, they're in the 78th minute. Tivoli leading 2-1, even though Tivoli is down to 10 men.
Junior, how is it possible? I cannot be reading this right. How is it possible that Mount Pleasant is the goal difference? This goal difference can't right. It says 71 and flash score. This cannot be right.
Yeah. No. What cannot be right is the man them, if they had 2 more games, them score 100 goals.
No, this camera. And look at their Phoenix goal difference, minus 50. I'm going to my yard, yeah, man.
Yo, they've scored 92 goals and only given up 21.
Oh, what?
No. So the other question is,
made that 93 goals, God, them just score 1 more.
No, but the question now is, how many players from this team, Mount Pleasant, that score 93 goals and only give up 21, how much of them wear Jamaica jersey? How much of them is going to wear the Jamaica jersey in the Gold Cup? Yo, my God, yeah, little more next week.
We got them here.
Oh, Wednesday, halftime show.
Halftime show, we'll chop it up Wednesday, family. Sorry,
I forgot to dig into that. That's a serious question, though, Benton.
We'll discuss it Wednesday. Yeah, man, we'll pick back up Wednesday with Jamaican football. All right, family. Yeah, people remember to smash the like button. Yo, I ain't that, we gone and we are. Bless up yourself, family. Chat safely.